Hi, before we get started, if you haven't watched the first video in this series, Defining the Product Adoption Lie, I suggest watching that video first. We have it linked right up here. Have you ever walked out of a sales pitch thinking, we nailed that, and then the PO never comes? It's a classic sign you're living with the product adoption lie, the myth that better products inevitably win. You launch with a list of better features, but you couldn't gain traction because in the market, belief hadn't actually changed. During sales presentations, everything looks great. The team crushed the deck, the data impressed everyone, the prospect said, this makes so much sense. But then there was no meaningful pipeline lift. There is no change in how your target audience prioritizes the problem that you're solving. There's no behavior change because nothing made the old way feel unacceptable. So what happened? Your market never really believed it needed to change. You didn't reframe what was broken into a must-fix problem. And adoption stalled because belief wasn't built. Now that you're getting ready to launch, a phrase you probably hear or say a lot is, once they try it, they'll love it. It sounds encouraging, but it's actually a red flag. Because what it really means is this. Your market has a belief deficit. Your prospective buyers may be willing to try your product, but they're not demanding it. And you're betting on user experience to do the heavy lifting instead of turning belief into visible momentum the market can see. So what needs to change? Two things. One, turn belief into proof the market can see, which means equip your early adopters to advocate, not just adopt. And then secondly, make their wins public and repeatable so the next wave believes before they try. Without a belief-first strategy, even a breakthrough stalls, and the market can't assign breakthrough value to something it doesn't yet believe. Another sign your launch may not be set up for success. Think about the questions you'll ask to determine launch traction and ask yourself, are they relying on measuring internal activity? How many emails did we send? How many providers have seen the sales deck? How many leads did we get at the last trade show? These are all relevant KPIs, but none of these answer the critical question, has market belief actually changed? When these reviews, these KPIs are focusing on number of assets, number of activities, and volume, you're really just optimizing for action, not optimizing for adoption. We can see these symptoms at scale in the story of Proteus Digital Health, from high-flying innovation to bankruptcy in just a few years. So they spent about 2 decades perfecting a smart pill. It was an ingestible sensor that was paired with a patch to track medication adherence. It worked, it was FDA cleared, and the investors had poured more than $500 million into backing this innovation. But guess what? The market never believed it was necessary. The clinicians saw it as intrusive, patients saw it as over-engineered, and payers saw it as having unproven value. So the company validated the innovation, but they never validated the market's belief. And it wasn't long before the company filed for bankruptcy. So if you're winning the feature comparison, but losing mind share, and you're comforted by this, once they try it, they love it, and then running launch reviews that obsess over activity instead of belief, don't treat the symptoms, treat the belief. You're not facing an execution problem, you're seeing a belief deficit. The next step isn't more tactics, it's a diagnostic on where the belief is breaking down inside your company, in the market, or both. So watch the next video in this series, The Cost of Not Addressing the Product Adoption Lie, and find a self-evaluation on the Product Adoption Lie resource page.